position, and credit to Billy Nelson and to Martin himself, because he's speaking now a lot more. Credit to both of them for putting Martin in that position. He's now in a position where everyone knows who he is, and he now can get the fights because of Turkey. You've got to stay in shape. How can you work so hard for this, and then as soon as you have a fight and go to Congo, you put on 20, 30 pounds? And it ain't 20, 30 pounds of muscle, it's 20, 30 pounds of fat. 20, 30 pounds of fat. Like how Martin has just allowed himself to balloon to this kind of size is beyond me. Martin Bakole should really be a 270-pound fighter. Like Martin Bakole 4 years ago was 250 pounds. I think people just forget that. When he fought Sergei Kuzman, which to be fair was 2020, but okay, 4.5 years ago, he was 251 pounds. Now, does Martin need to be a bit bigger than that? Maybe, but find the weight, dude. Like, don't let yourself go like this. You are now a professional athlete. And this is the chance. This is the chance you've been screaming for and waiting for. You're now a professional athlete that people are saying is the boogeyman of the sport. Whether or not that's true, I don't know. But that's what I've been saying. That's what people have been saying. You're in a position where not only can you make a lot of money, and he did on Saturday, to be fair, but you're in a position where I think you could be a world champion. I think he's got everything, but the weight's a problem.
And that is a clip from Oladipo's video on Martin Bakole and his counterpunch on Martin Bakole. And I think he's 100% spot on with that. You know, if you know that there is a chance, like the other day, that you're going to get random calls from big guys in charge like Turki Al-Sheikh, you should be in shape. You should be in better shape than you are. See, one thing I noticed, that 315 pounds that he weighed in at was the result of him going to the Congo and putting his career completely on pause. Which, if you care for your career like that, there is no way in hell you would let yourself get that big. See, 284 pounds compared to 315, that's 31 pounds. There is no reason an athlete, a professional athlete, should gain 31 pounds in between fights. That shows of lack of interest. That shows of lack of passion. That shows a lack of faith. You know, it shows a lack of discipline. You know what I'm saying? You should never be in that particular shape, ever. Just because. Now, it's one thing where you don't have to make weight and all, but you don't see guys like Deontay Wilder. You don't see guys like Anthony Joshua. You don't see guys like Alexander Usyk. You don't see guys like that get that damn heavy. You've never seen guys like that on a professional level. And yes, I did say Deontay Wilder. You don't see guys balloon up like that. Okay? And they look all crazy and shit like that. You see guys that are not disciplined. You see guys that have bad eating habits, like Tyson Fury, like Dillian White, like Martin Bakole. He is in that circle of people. Now he's supposed to be in another circle, and that circle of importance, that he should be ready all the time. If you are a person like Martin Bakole claims to be, that has been overlooked, that has been ducked, that has been blackballed damn near, right, for the longest, and he's been complaining about not getting fights and not being able to show how good he is. Well, the least you can do is be ready when the time comes. You can't sit there and complain about something that you know that you can do, but then when it's time for you to do it and someone finally calls you on the shit, you're not ready. That is not acceptable. It is not. You know, and based on that, you know, it's no one's fault. Not Billy Nelson's, not Ben Shalom's, not Joseph Parker's, not Turki Al-Sheikh, not Daniel Dubois. There is nobody else's fault on why Martin Bakole wasn't in shape or in some type of shape. You understand? See, that's having discipline. He needs a nutritionist. He needs somebody that's going to follow him around, make his meals, make sure he doesn't eat a bunch of bullshit when he goes back to the Congo, because yes, that pot belly, bro, that's not protein he was eating. That ain't a bunch of damn lamb or goat or whatever the hell he eats over there. That was some sugar shit. Bread, sugar, okay? Carbs, bad carbs, starches. That's what the hell that consists of that big ass belly he had. Sitting on that plane like that. You see what I mean? Looking like a rich African that's about to buy a mall. You know what I'm saying? He does it like, here's the thing. Your profession should reflect your appearance. And the only reason it should affect your appearance, it should affect the way you can move. Now, let's look at this for a second about Martin Bakole. And I want you guys to think about this for a minute. The punch he got hit with, right? That punch was meant to be slipped. That wasn't a shot that was because he didn't have his hands up or because he had lack of defense. He was actually showing defense in weaving the shot. As he was weaving the shot, he got caught on the top of the head from the shot that he figured that he weaved, right? Let's look at it like this. What if his ass didn't have 30 extra pounds on him? Maybe that shot that he thought he weaved would have been properly weaved if he wouldn't have had all that weight on him trying to lean down. It takes a bigger motherfucker longer and slower, a slower response time, leaning to avoid something versus somebody that is a lot smaller, that is a lot leaner, that makes him quicker, that makes him lighter, that makes him faster. You see what I mean? So yes, Ade is right on that 100% spot on. There is reasons why, you know, things like that, and you should be in condition. And see, here's the thing. I was told by Michael Hunter yesterday, and he made up a good point, and I'm going to talk about this in the live stream, either Tuesday or Wednesday, okay? I think I'm going to talk more on Dubois tomorrow. But then Martin Bakole, you know, he talked on Martin Bakole, and I'm going to go in depth in that on that live stream. But understand this, okay? Understand this reality. Michael Hunter brought up a good point, like, hey, well, it affects you taking shots like that when you don't train. And there are residual facts after that when you do get hit and you take a blow like that, when you're not in conditioned, or you're not conditioned to, or you're not in training to. You know what I mean? And not only is the punch you don't see, it's the punch you don't see, and you're in a position that you shouldn't be able, or the punch itself is more damaging because you're not in the shape that you need to be to absorb that punch. You're not even prepared to absorb that punch because you're not in any state to absorb that punch. You shouldn't even been fighting him in the first place. However, I'll say this. Had he been in some type of shape, he would have been better off. You know, the better you are in any situation that something happens to you physically, like let's say a car accident, a wreck, or something like that, that you're involved in something and your body's damaged, you're better off, okay, in better shape. Because the better shape you are, the more likely your bones, your muscles, your tendons, your ligaments, your joints, all of those things are more tighter and better, and you're more likely to come out of that accident more successful. Okay, let me tell you guys a story in wrapping this up. Shout out to a friend of mine, John Cinco. About 10 years ago, maybe a little more longer than that, he was involved in a bad car accident on a bridge. A drunk driver was going 120 miles an hour and plowed into him. Him and a friend of his. A friend was driving on one side, and then he plowed into both of them. And the wreck was so bad that his shoulder blade was caved in. Okay. And they told him had he not been in the shape that he was in, he would have died because his bones and because his muscles were strong. That blow that he absorbed, sure, it damaged him, but it didn't damage him to the point where it penetrated his heart and other tissues and other organs. So he did live. Okay, sure, did he have residual effects of it? Of course he did. But he lived based on his physical condition. Now you apply that to a guy that was 30 fucking pounds over last night or a couple nights ago, and then you think about what I said. Had he been more in shape, he could have absorbed more, he could have went through more, he would have been faster, and he would have been prepared. You never let yourself go like that. But that's my counterpunch on this a day video. You guys tell me what you think. I'll leave the link below to let you check it out in its full entirety. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been counterpunched. Peace.